Good morning and welcome to Prime of Midlife. It is Saturday morning at stupid o'clock and I just wanted to share with you some money saving tips from my father. If you have been watching the channel for a while, you'll know that I lost my father in February and yesterday was his birthday. So Kathleen came through for a while and we just sat and had a bit of a quiet night. And this morning when I got up, I thought, do you know something? He was that old school kind of guy. So I thought, well, I'll write down some bits and bods. And it's silly things, like you've heard the phrase, you're about as much use as a chocolate teapot or a chocolate fire guard. My dad's was, you're about as much use as an ashtray on a motorbike. Quite like that one. And if I said I was fed up, I was told I would just have to get fed back down again. So yes, Dad was quite sort of dry, quite sensible. And one of the big things was, were you born in a barn? Doors had to be closed because it kept the heat in the rooms. Switch the lights off. Put on another jumper, sweater for anyone that's not in the UK, woolen sweaters. His logic was, rather than put more coal on the fire or put the heating on, we would go and put on more clothes because that was a cheaper way of doing it. And when we moved up to what used to be my grandparents' house, there was, as I've told you before, there was the one coal fire in the sitting room and, you know, ice on the windows, all that jazz. And eventually we got central heating. Now that sounds great, but I have to say that my father, who worked probably normally 12-hour shifts at that time, and some of the 12-hour shifts could be further away, so he could be out of the house for like 14 hours. He put that central heating in himself. Now, my father was a car mechanic, he was not a plumber. But he got a Reader's Digest DIY manual that showed him how to put in central heating. And he put central heating in our house. He put radiators in every room because there was only one radiator in the house when we moved in. And that was basically used to, it was in the hallway up the stairs. Because they said, you know, you need to have one radiator to start it off. And he said, right, put one up the stairs, and that was for me doing my homework for school, because it wasn't too long until my exams started from when we moved in. And we had a huge back boiler, and every so often the fire would shut down, and I'd get sent for a bath to use up the hot water so that the fire would come back up. I don't understand the logic of it, but that's the way it worked. So yeah. That was my dad. If it needed done, he did it. And he did so much. I remember for Christmas, he made me a sledge. And I have to say, it was the fastest sledge in the street. My sledge was the bomb. He resoled our shoes and reheeled them. His father had a last, so we had the last up until I cleared out the house. So he resoled and reheeled our shoes. The man could actually knit. Goodness gracious, he seemingly learned to knit when he was a kid. So yeah, there's all sorts of different things. He also taught me how to do throw a potato in the embers of the fire. You know, and you're like, what? And then it became a great favourite when we had the coal fire, when we still had the coal fire, was to throw a potato in the embers, and of course it came out black and sooty. And then you would have to have like newspaper or something in your hands because it was so hot. But then you'd cut it open and there would be this steaming white hot potato. And it was lush, especially with the sooty taste from the fire. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. I remember it so well. So, you know, he did silly little things like that as well. He taught me so much to be independent in a lot of ways. Like, I could change plug, which is, you know, you would expect to be normal. That he taught me. He also taught me how to change a fuse on the old fuse switch, the old fuse boards in your house, where you have to wrap the wire around the two poles and screw it down and then put it in. You know, the fuses were like that size. I can do that. My dad taught me. I can change a wheel on a car. And Kathleen remembers one of the young lads that I knew, who I used to, when I ran a youth club a few years ago, well, many years ago. And he came running in going, what's his name? One of my exes, like the ex 15 years before I met Patrick. He said, where is he? And I was like, he's not here, why? Oh, my sister's got a flat, I need him to change a tyre. I need him to change the wheel. And I'm like, well, I'll come and do it. You can change a wheel? And I was like, of course I can change a wheel. Oh my God, why can you not change a wheel? You're an 18-year-old boy. And that was the sort of thing. I ground in the valves in my cylinder head. I changed a cylinder head once because Dad just made sure that I knew things like that. He taught me to drive in snow by taking me to a big car park in the snow when I was 12 and yanking the handbrake on and telling me how to steer into the skids and things. So my dad made sure that as an only child and as the only female, I knew stuff. I was going to be okay if anything happened to him. And it's little things like that that you just don't think of. And I'm just checking that there was anything. Yeah, Born in a Barn. He made his own beer. I remember just about the time of the 3-day week when all the power cuts and stuff were off. Because we had people over, and believe you me, that's why I never ever drink beer now. Because I drank quite a lot of it when I was young by mistake one night and never ever again. Ever. So, yeah, but I mean, as I say, he put the central heat in the house, he put lead flashing on the roof. A lot of the stuff I have learned is because Dad was always like, well, if it needs to be done, you just need to work out a way to go and do it. We didn't hire in people to do things. We didn't just go and get new. It was like, how can you fix it? Is it fixable? So little things like that make a whole lot of difference. And just when I was thinking about putting this up, I went into the drawers. You know, my decluttering, and I'm now down to 2 drawers instead of 4 drawers. And I went in and I found these, so I just thought I'd show you, because these are what Dad brought or kept from his parents' house. And these, seemingly, are nose rings for bulls. They were a farming family before. I have no idea why we've got them, but I can't throw them out because, you know, they're ours. We have hair curlers. Why we still have them, I don't know, but we still have hair curlers. We have my granny's magnifying glass, which Dad used in later years and which I might need to use very soon. And someone said on here about a mending egg. Now, I have a China egg thing. Is that a mending egg? Or is that, because Granny had chickens, so, you know, possibly it was to encourage them to lay eggs or stuff, I don't know. Somebody, if anyone knows, going to tell me. We have Granny's thimble. My granny was a seamstress, seemingly. And then we have these fascinating things. These pens. Now that's a propelling pencil point. Okay, and then you just, it's brass, and you just pull it down. And this side's a fountain pen, and you just pull it down. I think that is so cool. And then we have the steel one, which is the wide nib on that side. Let me just pop that back in because it's quite loose. And then this side we have the fine nib, and you just pop that on, dip it in your ink, and write. So that's what we've got from Granny and Granddad's house. But yeah, I just thought I would tell a wee story about my father and the little things that he taught me when he was here. And a lot of them were for saving money, doing it yourself. And, you know, if he can do it, I can do it. So there you go. That was just my wee thing. I just wanted to put that up. So I will catch you later when I'm actually doing stuff.